Yeah, hello. Let's talk about the criminal justice system in a democratic setting. I've always said that Nigeria is anti democratic. Nigeria was born or founded as an anti democratic society based on colonial administrations that were a product of force without the consent of anybody. And this historical foundation is important to understanding why Nigeria is the way it is in all ramification, especially with the police. The police is the first um, administrative organization that was established in Nigeria, the oldest, and the reason is simple because the colonial masters were oppressing and exploiting the locals. So they had to form or establish a means by which they can control or arrest dissent and possibly punish dissent. That's why the police was created or was established. And the police has not been reformed to become democratic. So that pattern of intimidation, oppression, exploitation, and what have you has continued through down to independence, down to post-independence, down to what we currently have. And that's why our criminal justice system is the way it is. It only serves the the interest of government and the interest of political and economic class and those who are connected to them. You hardly see the police arresting and detaining a very big person like a billionaire or like a politician. Arrest and detain not only for commoner, you know, big people, high and mighty are invited. It's only on special cases that you see them getting arrested, and we're going to talk about it quickly right now. So I'll just go into why or how arrest is being done. Because in a democratic setting, someone commits an offense or someone is suspected to have committed an offense, you don't just pick them up, you know. It doesn't happen that way. It is only in anti-democratic. And this has nothing to do with whether the case is criminal or civil, whether it's a civil offense or it's a criminal one. The police has no right to just arrest a person all of a sudden. Now, see how you get someone arrested rather. It is done after investigation. Someone just comes and reports to the police, this person slapped me. Even if you are seeing the swollen face of a slap, you don't go and arrest that person. You investigate first. By investigating, you gather your evidence, you ask for witnesses. Who and who been there when this guy slap you? You know, you establish the fact that a possible crime has been committed before you go on to arrest that person. We see it happen when it is a case of a big man, but when it is a poor against a rich, or a poor against the system, they just arrest you. In Nigeria, when you're poor, you're already a criminal. You're already treated as one. So you investigate before you arrest. It's as simple as that, but I don't know what's going on in Nigeria, and they've normalized this tradition. People get arrested, and then other people will start hailing their arrests, especially when they are suspected to have committed a crime that is against the interest or ego of the people that are hailing the arrest. Just like what's happening currently with Tony Elumelu and the one they call Banga Boy. You know, he has posted defamatory tweets against you, against your wife, against your daughter, against your family. It is clearly a suspected criminal defamation, even though defamation is not supposed to be criminalized. But let's assume that it is a crime to do whatever that guy did. You don't arrest the person before investigation. You investigate before you arrest, and then you send the person to court. You don't even arrest and continue investigation. No, it's wrong. It's totally wrong. It doesn't matter whether the situation is a criminal or a civil matter. But there are cases where you could just go ahead to arrest before investigation. One of those cases is what is called in law flagrante delicto. Flagrante delicto just means caught in the act. For example, you are caught stealing, you are caught in a robbery, you are caught, raping, you are caught fighting. If you are caught in the act, as in you dey do that thing before the police come catch you, on top wetin you dey do, you will be arrested, and then proper investigation will be concluded, and then you will be sent to court. You'll be charged to court. Number two is what we call hot pursuit. Hot pursuit is simply, you are a suspect and you know that you will be investigated and arrested. Then you want to run away. You want to run into hiding. A lot of the time you want to leave Nigeria if you had the means. You will get arrested. Dino Melaye has been arrested in that form. When he on his way to Morocco, he was arrested at the airport. A lot of people have been arrested at the airport trying to leave Nigeria to escape justice. So you can be arrested on a hot pursuit and then investigation follows. It is also why sometimes when they charge people to court, the court will seize their traveling document and release them so that it wouldn't become a case of hot pursuit, because the police will have to spend resources in the chase, so they will want to avoid such situation. Another reason for arrest before investigation is reasonable suspicion. If the police is very certain, as in they are very sure that you've committed a crime, they can get you arrested. And the reason for this reasonable suspicious arrest is basically if the person is suspected to want to destroy evidence, in order to prevent the person from having enough time to destroy evidence, you get the person arrested. But while doing so, you would have to charge them to court. You don't arrest them and keep them under detention. I hope I have made it clear. Now, there is something the Nigerian police is notorious with doing. You arrest someone and you rob them their right to knowledge, and that would also mean robbing them their right to expression. Before you get someone arrested, you would have to tell them why you are getting them arrested. Don't assume they know. Don't think they know. Even though you know they know, it is a simple policing principle that you are telling someone, Mr. A, Mr. B, we are getting you arrested because you stole crayfish. But in the Nigerian case, You go and you just meet someone, and the next thing is you are under arrest. Follow us to the station. In fact, someone will even ask, what did I do? There are people who don't even know where the arrest is coming from. Why are you arresting me? The next thing the police will say is, when you get to the station, you will find out, you will know when you get to the station. They will go ahead and say, you have the right to remain silent, for whatever you say will be used against you. That's anti-democratic. And funny how it is expressed in our movies. Any movie that has involved the police and an arrest, you have the right to remain silent. Whatever you say will be used against you. Bro, that is totally wrong. It is a that's like jungle justice. Then another thing that is important is time frame and warrant. You know, when you get someone arrested after concluding your investigation, or an arrest that involves arrest while investigation is going on, or arrest before investigation, whatever arrest it is, that person has between 24 to 48 hours to be charged to court. If you kept such person beyond that period, bro, you are being anti-democratic. You are infringing on the rights of that person. You charge them to court. The police is not supposed to punish. The police doesn't have the power to punish. Doesn't even have the power to say this person is a criminal or this person has committed any offense. It is the law that does so. The police will only consider you a suspect until the law proves otherwise. Then the warrant, you don't arrest someone without giving them a warrant, an arrest warrant. A lot of time you should invite them over. But in Nigeria, you hardly get warrants for commoners. Someone just storms you and gets you arrested. You only arrest without warrant on special occasion when you are suspecting a felony, and that will be based on fact. These are the things that the criminal justice system in Nigeria is not looking at all, because it is colonial. If you looked at the EFCC would have concluded their investigation before arresting anybody. In fact, over 95% of the time, whoever the EFCC arrested, that person is definitely culpable, because they would have concluded their investigation and they are very sure that that person is reasonably a suspect. This is why Peter Obi, who is the chief opposition of the ruling party, has not been arrested or invited over by the EFCC. Do not think they have not investigated him. They have investigated him, but there are no grounds for arrest. Last week or thereabout, the EFCC chairman came out to say they have been investigating Jerry Eze, the "what God cannot do does not exist" pastor. They've been investigating him for the past 6 months, and then they found out that there were no basis for arrest. You see, they don't just arrest you. And why the EFCC could do that is because the EFCC is not a colonial establishment. It was established by indigenous government, by indigenous system, by the Olusegun Obasanjo's dispensation. If you also looked at the Civil Defense Corps, you see the way they operate. They are a bit friendly in their operation. Those are the people that that are supposed to be called your friend. The civil defense is your friend, not police. Why? Because civil defense is an indigenous establishment. It is not perfect. It has some reformation to be made to, but it is relatable. The police is not relatable because the police wasn't established indigenously. It wasn't established to save Nigerians. It was rather established to intimidate and oppress Nigerians. Now, why is it important to conclude investigation before arrest? The reason is simple, so that you don't arrest wrongly. You might arrest somebody who is innocent. Maybe he was falsely accused, he was lied upon, and then because you just heard he did something, you've gone to arrest the person. And when you arrest that person and you detain the person, you've deprived the person a human right. The person would have been intimidated. The person would have been subjected to discomfort, put in cell. The person no go brush teeth for as long as you kept them there. The person wouldn't eat what they would want to eat. The freedom of association, all those things. And then after going through all of these things, it turned out that they were innocent. Sorry would not undo the fact that they've been subjected to um, the abuse of their human right. This is just what I thought I could say, and it is important for us to stay in line. You know, they talk about the criminalization of defamation. It's not a sweet talk. There is no aspect of defamation that is supposed to be criminalized. But Nigeria has criminalized defamation to a certain level. You can sue for civil defamation, you can sue for criminal defamation, but defamation in its entirety has nothing to do with criminality. It's a civil matter. But the Nigerian system criminalizes it because the system is built on a colonial foundation that is only aimed at oppressing the people and keeping them subjugated. The Nigerian Bar Association, in as much as they've put out a notice that defamation is a civil matter, it is important for you to take a step further to challenge the criminalization of defamation. You can't say defamation is civil and it is actually made to be criminal, and you ask people to not treat it as a criminal matter. Get the lawmakers to decriminalize defamation. There is nothing criminal about it. I think we should try to understand Nigeria is naturally anti-democratic. We were born into an anti-democratic system that has continued to run. And until we rise up and fix this system, the talk about democracy in Nigeria remains laughable.